You want to know how you could get any woman to act how you want? Think about it like this. If you were her end goal guy, how would you be acting right now? You wouldn't be asking her, begging her, trying to convince her. You would simply be living your own life, and you understand that you have other options. Women, they do have an end goal guy, right? They may flirt with other guys, but in her mind, she knows that she wants this specific guy. The way you can be the end goal guy, you're willing to move on without her. She disrespects you, okay. You're fine with getting a next bit, right? Being the end goal guy is just you being confident and independent. You being the end goal guy, you're not in a rush to take things with her. You're not in a rush to commit to her. That's your own pace, and you take pride in that. If she doesn't like it, she could leave, but she's not gonna leave because you know that you have something to offer that other men don't. If you guys would like a part 2, let me know. One-on-one coaching will be in my bio. Why was I smiling like that?
I want to crash out when I think about how when my ex and I were celebrating our 1-year anniversary, I got him a gold-plated necklace and matching bracelet from Jackson. Like $400, nothing crazy. And I think he forgot, but whatever. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I let him know it was our anniversary. And I expected like flowers the next day, like minimum, right? Like flowers, it's 1 year. For most couples, that's an important, it's an important day, 1 year. And no flowers for the next couple days, no flowers. And I kind of told him I'm a little disappointed. Like I wanted some flowers. And you'll never guess what he told me. I would give you flowers if you deserved them. Keep in mind, I made his meal preps, his protein smoothies for the morning. I cleaned the house. I did his laundry, all on top of having a full-time job and career. And sometimes I'm like, stupid.
Can't lie, that's a pretty good reason to expect at least flowers. That's a pretty good reason to expect at least bare minimum flowers. Well done for you.
You know what I hate? I hate when a man is out with his girl, baby mama, wife, whatever the case is, walking clean with the girl with the handheld, and his eyes wandering straight to me, like this. I'd be like, do you want me to snitch? I'ma scream, stop looking at me. Look at your
Girl of your dreams. This is what's on your bio. And you're gonna snitch? You're gonna snitch with a video like this? With a video like this, you're gonna snitch? Who exactly are you snitching on? Capping. Wanting the attention is what you want. They're giving you what you want. Should they be doing it? Probably not. Most likely not. But what type of business are you into? What type of profession are you into? That's what we need to establish from the outset here. You're on TikTok because you want validation. That's what that video is about. What are you up to?
Around me, a man never has to worry about paying the full bill. Like 275 with 25 cents, you said? I got you with the 25 right here. Like, I spoil my men.
Don't let these men trick you out your panties because of a vibe. You can curate a vibe. Stick to your standards. Don't fall for the okie doke of, we're just going to go with the flow. If the vibe is right, then we'll see what happens. No. Until your standards are reached, nothing is happening. Nothing physical can happen. Women have to remember that cookie, that's the prize. It's not to be like, if he's gonna leave me when he gets it, I'd just rather know sooner. No, that's the prize. You don't give people the prize before they win the game. You know what I'm saying? Make him win you. Not that you are trying to play hard to get or none of that. Don't let them trick you out your spot, sis. Don't let them trick you out your panties.
How is anybody tricking anybody? It's always a man's fault. But when a woman says, I'm trying to be outside this summer, I'm trying to have a hot girl summer, I'm trying to have a city girl summer. City girl summer? That doesn't look, or that doesn't sound like a man saying that. That sounds like a woman is going out there and is about to be irresponsible.
Okay, my advice is you need to totally change the way you're approaching this. Flirting, dating, relationships, interacting with women, those aren't games. They're not things you can win. So many men are somehow both oversimplifying and overcomplicating everything. Podcast bros will reference like value, like your high value or your low value. What's your market value? That's kind of weird because that's not really how people work. Nobody sits there and calculates their potential partner's value. Men are not hypergamous beings trying to get the best value that they can. They're people, just like you. So let me ask you, what makes you want to sleep with a woman? What do you care about for casual sex with a woman? Is it just, I need to be attracted to her? That's how it is for women too. And yeah, in dating and partnership, then personality starts to come into play, right? Like you want to like this person and you want them to like you. That's kind of it. Attraction and personality. What you need to wrap your head around is attraction works totally different from women than it does for men. First of all, it's generally more of a slow burn. Men are more like gasoline, women are more like firewood. Both can build into raging fires, but for men, you just need like a little spark, and for women, you need a little more finesse and patience. Not only that, men's attraction is really driven by looks and visual information. My husband loves me for my personality and thinks I'm very funny, but if I want to turn him on, I don't tell him a joke, I text him a dirty picture of myself. It works like a charm, but it doesn't really work the other way around. Because women's attraction is really driven by socially interactive qualities. Not that looks don't matter, it's that looks are very inefficient at turning women on. That's why almost no men are attracted to women on looks alone. That doesn't mean we can't be attracted to a wide variety of you. Women watch significantly less porn, but boy oh boy do we read it. There's a reason we love rom-coms and The Notebook. The socially interactive qualities are to us what like jiggling are to you. That is what turns us on. So you guys need to stop thinking that we're going like, oh, he's funny, intelligent, kind, and confident, so I'll make an exception that he's not attractive. No, he is attractive because he's those things. It's not he's successful, has a good career, and is generous, and so I'm going to be okay with the fact that he's not attractive. That is what makes him attractive. We're not getting out our calculators and finding out what your value is. We're doing the same thing you're doing. We're going, how attractive are they? What drives that attraction tends to work a little differently for us than you. My husband is exceptionally attractive to me. He's the only man who's attractive to me. I cannot get enough of him, okay? Like, I am so attracted to that guy. He's the man on earth. But when I first met him, he was just a regular guy. I remember telling my friends, like, he's kind of cute. I think he's cute. Is he cute? As I had more time to interact with him, he became so to me. His looks didn't change, but I got to see his socially interactive qualities and I became feral for him. I actually really remember one of the first times I was like, whoa, this guy's hot as. We're in the drive-thru line at a Wendy's. First we were hanging out together and there was an ad for a Frosty and I was like, oh my god, I would love a Frosty right now. Like, let's go get a Frosty. I'll buy you a Frosty. It felt so generous. Like, I'm gonna buy you a Frosty. Like, a Frosty's 99 cents. It's not about me going like, oh yes, Mr. Moneybags. He's a man genuinely wanting to buy me dinner too. I also just love that he like took care of business. Like his boldness was so, he's like, get in the car, let's go get a Frosty. Like, ooh, I like how you do things. You don't just wait around and complain. And we get through the drive-thru line and we're sitting there waiting, okay? They'd already given us the Frosty, but we were waiting on his order of nuggets. Sitting there eating the Frosty that he bought me while we just kind of talk back and forth. They're taking forever. I'm like almost done with my Frosty. I'll never forget, like mid-conversation, he just like looks back and he's like, they better be killing a chicken back there. And it just cracked me up so hard. And the way he like said it in such a funny way with like such a sweet smile. Kid you not, it was like Niagara Falls. I'm like, this guy is so hot. Wanted him that day and I never stopped wanting him since.
I see where she's going and I like it for the most part. But the problem I have with it is that women are saying things like, well, if I show him to the group chat, they'll call him ugly. And so then I'm fighting for my life. Well, why do you like him? For all of the reasons that you just said. Well, he's attractive to me because he's funny, he's smart, he's this, he's that, he's got a good career, he makes good money. I like him. I genuinely like him. Oh, girl, he looks like he crawled from under a bridge. I'm talking about what he brings. He's a man of good, upstanding character. That's what I'm looking for. And some women will be all down her throat talking about all on her back, talking about, oh man, I don't know if he's one for you. You got to be attracted to him. I am attracted to him. Are you really though? I don't know, girl. And they would sit up there and talk this woman out of a good relationship. That's what we're talking about. So I love what you're saying. I really do. But I just think that I think that sometimes it gets men, that's why they call it a game. It confuses men because you're saying this and a man is like, all right, I got it. I'm back on track. Let's go for this. But then he comes back with other information and he's like, wait a minute, I thought this woman just said, and like 3, 4, 5, literally 4, 5, 6, 7 different opinions, different videos of women saying different things. And the man's just trying to get to the answer. And so for men being direct, then it's like, okay, what do I do? It's just too much going on. Like, well, what do you guys want me to know? Give me cliff notes. Like, give me bullet points, because I don't have time to continue to read the book, right? Well, what do I need to know? That's what men are looking for.
So I'm sure you guys have seen, I think his name's Caleb. He does like the financial, like the people come in, they sit down, they break out the books, they give him all the debt, and he tells them like, this is how you should probably try to get out of debt. I've watched a lot of his TikTok videos, and I have noticed majority of the time it is the wife spending above the means. And I always think to myself, why don't the husband just put his foot down and say, we're not doing this. I'm taking away credit cards. I'm taking away debit cards or whatever. But then I had a thought. If the man did that, then you'd have a bunch of women going in at the man saying that he's controlling or she should have her own money. You see how feminism works. And I will forever say that was the worst thing that has ever happened to women, like legit. But it's the fact that I seen this one couple that they're in debt. Like, my goodness, like I would be like bricks if I was in that much debt. But she still gets Disney passes. And Caleb's like, you can't afford this. And they're just both sitting there just laughing. And I'm just like, how can you guys both be laughing when you are in that much debt? And then the husband's like, I've tried to tell her. I don't know. I need for men to be men. I need for men to be like, you're not doing this. I'm taking this, and that's that. But I don't think that would ever happen, because we have a bunch of women out here that are, if a man even remotely says, well, you're not going to do that, then, oh, he's controlling. You need to leave him, sis. So what can you do? I don't know.
Do you know what lines I don't believe from women anymore? When she says that she was, or that he was, unless there was violence, you got a report of it. One, I don't believe you at all. Because half the time you women are defining you're saying like it's an emotional, that's worse than physical violence, when in reality it was simply that he didn't agree with your insane delusions or point of view, and because of that you felt it. I also don't believe that every woman out there was dating a narcissist, when less than 3% of all men are diagnosed with narcissism. What I do believe is this is reflective psychology, and most of you are, wait for it, you're the narcissist. I know, shocker, right? Women don't like to hear this. This is why we refer to there being a pandemic of 100 women versus accountability, and why I believe that more often than not, women use these sort of emotional gymnastics to play the victim. This is called weaponized victimhood, and this is something you women are good at. You're also good at using sign, which I'll explain in the next video.
How are you guys finding these men that aren't like, you know exactly what I'm thinking? Like, you can't find a good man on a dating app. You can't find a good man at the gym, because I don't want to say they ran through, but how do you even approach a man at the gym that you think is cute? Like,
I don't know if I'm going to actually post this because this is super vulnerable for me and I'm a pretty open person. But earlier this year, I told my husband I wanted a divorce. And this would probably shock a lot of my friends and my family because I hadn't told anybody, okay? I walked myself through the logistics of where would I live, how would we split the time with the kids, who gets the dog, where, all of those things, okay? Had a full breakdown. I feel like I have been searching for something in my relationship that we don't have for the whole time we've been married, which has been 10 years. I There is not a single thing about my husband in and of himself that I do not love. Let me be very clear about that. He is the most self-disciplined, loyal, hardworking, good person that you could meet on this planet. And that is probably the reason why I have not left. Okay? Our relationship and what my expectations are for my marriage and what they always have been are not met, right? Which I don't know if anybody's are. The reason that pushed me to even bring up divorce and talk about it was the fact that I feel like I can't be myself with my husband. And it's really confusing because I'm 32 years old. I am a mom of 3, and I still don't know who I am. So for me to be like, oh, I can't be myself, or you don't love me for who I am, isn't really fair because I don't know who I am. I'm figuring that out every day. But the reason why I wanted to share this on here in the first place is we are coming up on our 10-year anniversary. We're going to Mexico, to Cabo, for our 10-year anniversary trip. And we're rewriting our vows. We never wrote vows in the first place. We didn't have vows when we got married. And I'm struggling to write my vows, like to write a vow. And I think that's because I still feel very unsure in our relationship. The one thing that we finally talked about this past week together, because it's just been something that since we kind of talked about it and I brought it up and we committed to change and we committed to working on our relationship, I started my own business. He quit his job. Roles have changed. Life has been crazy. And we just haven't come back to talking about this subject. And I brought it up again because I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you, like writing these vows is hard. I don't feel like we're any closer. I don't feel like anything has really changed since I brought this up 6 months ago, 9 months ago, whatever. And I want to work on our relationship. Like at the end of the day, of course I could get a divorce and try to go find the love that I'm craving with somebody else. But that's going to come with its own hardships, its own complications, and ones that I'm not willing to take on, right? I love Ryan. He is the best father, okay? I just need to learn how to explain what I need from him in our relationship, and he needs to be able to give that, and I need to be doing the same for him so that we can both, like, in 10 years from now, in the next 10 years, look back and say, like, we put in the work and we finally have the marriage and the relationship that we have always wanted, and that is what I want. I guess the reason why I'm coming on here, and if you've made it this long, that's really nice. What have you done in your relationship to get to that point? If you have been in a place where we are and have worked through it and have found things that have brought you closer or that have given you that relationship, like I'm just, I guess, asking for advice. Like, what have you done in order to get there and what has worked for you? We're honestly willing to try anything. We have done therapy and counseling before. And it was fine, honestly. It wasn't like my favorite thing, but I'm willing to try that again. And I don't know, books, podcasts, like what have you guys done that has worked for you to get your marriage to where you want it to be? I just don't like thinking, okay, we've been married for 10 years and we've kind of like been at this same point the whole time. I just don't want to look back 10 years from now and not have tried my best to have this like relationship that we both want and that we deserve and that our kids deserve to see in us. So I'm kind of being vulnerable and posting this on here, but I would just like to know, like, what has worked for you and what advice, I guess, you would have for me. Thanks.
A dude in the comments said, it's because nothing will make you happy. You are incredibly selfish that you'd sacrifice your family for a dopamine fix. The problem is not your husband. The problem is you. So why don't you fix yourself instead of carrying your problems into a new relationship. Another guy says, you're focusing on the one thing you don't have instead of the 1,000 amazing things you do have. Take divorce off the table and make it work. In 5 years, you'll be happy you did. Oh, woman says, happily ever after is Disneyland. Marriage is respect and commitment and work. Thank you for saying that. Another woman here, Lacey, says, your story is my story. Then 20 years later, it turned out I was just bored and immature. Worst mistake of my life, divorcing a good man. Thank you, Lacey. I appreciate that. Another woman says, she says, Lord, strike me down if I run through my divorce plans on TikTok. Because there ain't no shame nowadays, man.
All right, so this is why women live longer than men. Because I will quite literally try to say anything to detour a man from wanting to talk to me, right? Like, I'll be like, hey, I got 10 kids, a history of mental illness. I've been in and out of the psych ward. I had 3 Class A felonies, a history of drugs, violence, prostitution, cannibalism, necrophilia, arson. I'm not allowed in Canada. And a man will hear all this. He'll look me dead in my eyes and be like, but you still do, right?
Guilt tripping your partner because you haven't had bedroom activities in 4 weeks, 4 months, 6 months is only going to do one of 2 things. They're going to give in, but they're going to hate every single second of it. It's just going to cause more resentment in a relationship. And we all know that according to relationship experts John and Julie Gottman, resentment is one of the leading causes of divorce. Or 2, you're just going to push them farther away because you're not a safe person. You're blaming them for whatever that is going on. And remember, no intimacy or a lack of intimacy is a symptom of a deeper issue.
True, guilt tripping is not the best way to go, but here's the thing, it doesn't start with that. It starts with the calm conversations, him bringing it up, him opening up that his needs are not being met in the relationship. And instead of pointing fingers at him, saying that he's guilt tripping you, at what point do you stop and consider that his needs aren't being met? At what point do you have some empathy for that? 4 weeks? 6 months of him not getting what he needs out of the relationship? And you want to paint this picture that he is the most horrible person on the planet? When he's sitting there feeling undesired, he's sitting there feeling like a burden, like a creep in some cases, because from your point of view, him asking for a basic connection in the relationship makes him selfish? Really? This man probably feels rejected every single day. He's brought it up calmly. He's talked to you about it. Maybe the woman found a way to invalidate him. She brushed it off because it doesn't matter, because she knows deep down there's no consequences. There's no consequences if his needs don't get met, because she knows he won't leave right away. It's gonna take a while before he finally gives in. Did you ever stop to consider, how does he feel? Does he feel wanted in this relationship? What is he doing for you? He cares about your needs, right? Anytime you need or want something, he's got it for you. He does his best. But here's the moment that he needs you to do something for him. Something that should be mutually beneficial for the both of you. You write it off like it's no big deal. Oh, because I don't need that constantly. He doesn't either. Men and women couldn't possibly be different. Really? I hate these videos because they always paint men to be the monsters. Yeah, resentment's not great. Yeah, guilt tripping's not great. But why is it always the man that needs to fix the issue? At what point is it sometimes the woman's fault? At what point is she not bringing up her needs? At what point is she not communicating what actually needs to happen in order for her to feel comfortable in that situation again, in order to do those things with him again? But no, here's the thing, it's usually silence from her side. She just ignores his needs. She doesn't tell him what she needs in return. And then he's left with what? Not getting his needs met? Unacceptable.
She says something to the effect of, when they finally do cave in, they're not going to like, it's not going to be enjoyable for them or whatever it is. You know, I'm going to say this, and I hope I don't get in trouble for it. You know, you've been sitting around here doing whatever you're doing, and he hasn't been enjoying whatever's going on. So, it's about time that another person feel the same level of unenjoyment that one person is. So I'm just putting that out there.
Why are men in general not working to decenter women in the same way that women are working to decenter men?
It's actually interesting, but the answer is pretty simple. It's because we don't need to. Most of us have never actually centered women in the first place. Even the men, right, who do nothing but chase women, who are bums except for living, dying and breathing for women. They've never centered women a day in their life. They are centering themselves, their lust, their ego, their love of the chase, and the reward of getting the girl. The ego boost and the pride of being a guy who gets girls. That's what they center themselves, right? And you can also see this more generally, right? There is a big conversation for men about controlling lust. It's not decentering women, it's we need to control our lust, control ourselves. So even when it sounds like it's about women, it's really about us, our own impulses, our own discipline. But woman isn't centered, she's either the test on one side or the trophy on the other side. And it's a fact, a lot of men believe if they become a man of value, they'll get the girl they want. So in that sense, the woman becomes the proof of value. She's not the purpose or the goal, she's simply the proof. The girl is a confirmation that you are a real man. So yes, we center ourselves, but it's not freely. We center ourselves through the prison of masculinity. Just like women are conditioned to serve men, we're conditioned to serve the concept of being a man. Whether that's being a provider, being a protector, being dominant, respected, the list goes on and on. We all know what it is, right? And men and women reinforce this concept. We will say, if we don't like something a man did, oh, he's just a boy, he's not a man. A real man does this. A real man never does that. That's the script, right? And we've built society around that. The problem right now is, as society changes, those masculine roles, they get harder and harder to live out. Women have more freedom, more autonomy, more choice. And suddenly, right, a lot of men, a lot of us, we don't have the ability to live up to the old stereotypes. The average man now, he can't provide anymore. Women are getting educated at higher rates than most men. Women under 30 are buying properties at a higher rate than most men. So we don't know what makes us men anymore. If she provides for herself, where does that leave our role? If she leads, is that a threat to our authority? If she's self-sufficient, then how do we provide? Is that not emasculating? And that's where you see the insecurity creeping. That's why our sense of self can collapse so fast. Not because she emasculated us, but because our masculinity was conditional. And now we can't meet those conditions anymore. And that's when masculinity turns fragile, right? We cling to control, to dominance, to hierarchy, because we're scared to lose our role. And this is what no one wants to admit. Most of us don't want to reinvent ourselves. We don't want infinite choice. What we want is orientation. We need a clear path, a clear role, a clear reason to be. And that's why we see men grasp into tribalism, ideology, nostalgia, the red pill, religion, because freedom, true freedom is a burden, right? It creates anxiety. If everything's a choice, then nothing is given. You're not a man because you fight. You're not a man because you work or provide or marry or you're strong or any other rite of passage. You're a man because you say so. But what if you don't know what to say? And that's the biggest problem right now. So no, men don't need to decenter women. What we need to do is decenter ourselves. Decenter the self as man, the identity we were handed, right? And we need to rebuild it with purpose. Not what makes us look like men, but what makes us feel like ourselves. It's a hard concept to grasp, but decenter the self. Anyway, it's just my opinion, I may be wrong.
I keep on hearing this. I keep on hearing this thing about women in their 30s or under 30 out earning men. And that's more and more. The statistics show that that's not true just yet, but there's a rise in it, right? There's a rise in women out earning men. I feel like this is such a short-sighted argument. It just is. We continue to say that men over time earn. That's something that Kevin Samuels said a lot. That men will earn, and by the time they're 35, 40, that's when they start hitting it. Thinking about a guy that I talked to, and he said, man, I used to be making this much, but, once I got to this age, I start hitting it. Boom, 150, 160, I start hitting it. This is what men are doing throughout their life. They're, it's because I'm doing this. That's what women say. It's because I got to leave the workforce and this and that. Whatever you want to say it is, men are always steady. They're always consistent. This is why men talk about being the nice guy. You want to settle down with a nice guy. You want to have all your fun in your 20s while a man is building his career in his 20s and then in his 30s. And then by the time he pops off, that's when you want to jump off of the carousel, so to speak, and then you want to get with him. Men have a problem with that. Because once again, when men have been climbing up the mountain, you're up there on top of the mountain having fun, looking down, laughing at him. But once he gets up there, all of a sudden you want to be all over him. A man is not going to go for that, right? So we continue to talk about this short-sighted, short-term way of thinking. Well, a woman is able to out-earn you in her 30s and yada, yada, yada. Yes, but when a man starts hitting it, when he finally figures out what it is that he needs to be doing, and he goes towards that, a man's body is not going to get tired like a woman's body is. She's going to have to take days off, whether she has a child or whether it's just for hormones. She's going to have to take days. I want to go out and I want to spend this money. I want to do this. A man will delay fun and he'll continue to work. It could be sunny, snowy. It don't matter. A man will continue to work while the woman is taking days off. Sickness, mental health, children. Like I said, once again, pool parties, vacations, lunches, just don't want to come to church. A man to work, a man will continue to be there the entire time, slow and steady. And when he gets there to his 30s, 40s, and he starts hitting it, then that's when the gap starts to widen every single time. So women got to start seeing or remembering, because they knew before, that a man, if you help him out once he gets there, well, you don't even have to help him out in terms of like, I got to build a man up. You just don't have to be adversarial. Most men know that they have to work and provide. Most men, because you're talking about, we're still subscribing to masculinity as whatever, the patriarchy or whatever. But there are structures and roles for a reason. Who's going to do what, right? There's a lot of women out here talking about, I don't have to do anything but show myself and be his peace and his energy. Those are good things, but there has to be a tangible value in a relationship, right? And there has to be roles and responsibilities. Whether you want to define it as gender roles or you want to say something else, each person in the relationship needs to be doing something. It's funny how gender roles gets mixed up when it's a man needing to take out the trash, and he needs to do that. But when it comes to me cooking, then all of a sudden there's confusion there. Do I cook? Do I still clean? Right? Do I wash? Do I fold clothes? We both need to be washing and folding clothes. Okay, then you take out the trash then sometime. Okay, then you mow the lawn then. Why don't we hire this person? That's what you're going to start saying, right? Why don't you go fix the car? Why don't you go handle and maintain these relationships with mechanics or people outside of the home to have work on the home done? Why don't you start doing handyman work? Wait, because you don't want to. So it's not a mix when a man has to do stuff, but it is when a woman needs to do stuff. Isn't that funny? It's funny how we talk about women are outpacing men under 30, but then when you get after 30, we don't hear nothing about it. We continue to hear how men are falling behind because the women are getting college degrees and they're doing this, and this. But then we're seeing the trend in 2023, 2024. And it's been the same as it was in the 1940s, 50s, 60s. Men over the course of their life, we know this, are going to earn. They're going to build their career. They're the steady one in the relationship. They're the rock in the relationship. Not saying that women are unstable. But there's certain things that men are able to do that women aren't able to do, and vice versa. That's just the way that it is. That's why you work as a team. But a lot of modern women today don't seem to understand that.
Ladies, be very careful. The guys are onto us. They know we're gold diggers. Oh my gosh. So I got exposed, right? And tell me why this dude was trying to talk to me and everything. And I'm thinking that he just broke and he ain't got no motion. He don't got nothing going on, right? Cause like he dead ass was looking homeless. He had to sign and everything. And then like he trying to tell me like, oh, he just got out of jail. He was in jail for like 2 years and stuff. And I'm saying like, what would I want to do with you? Or like, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to like make it make sense. Like he's literally like on the side of the street and everything, looking bummy. Like he looked like and it wasn't even like the aesthetic or anything, right? So then y'all not gonna believe this. So I read that man for filth. I'm like, what is you doing trying to talk to me? Like, you ain't got no motion. You don't got nothing going on, right? So I'm walking away. And then I turn back around to make sure he not following me. Bro, I see him get into like one of these like fancy, like, I don't know cars or anything, right? But he gets into like this pink SUV thing. This thing is like so nice. And I'm like, yo, what the world? Like, this your car? Like, I saw it sitting there, but I didn't know it was his car. So it was crazy. I'm about to show y'all.
Think I can like your number or your
So
Instagram?
now you want to talk to me now?
Yeah,
What
I'll probably
would I do without any money or any motion?
No, I'm saying like, why I gotta have money to talk to you?
Armani first, like,
Oh no, that's fire. But like, I'm just trying to see if I take you on a date. Maybe when I get back on my feet, I get a number.
A date? You need to go put in a job application. Get some money or something.
Why you being disrespectful?
I'm not being disrespectful. I just find it that like it's just so weird to me. Like,
But why are you being disrespectful though? I was
really like respectfully. Do you think that you could get with me respectfully?
No, I'm.
So as y'all can see, I'm telling him like respectfully, like I don't think this is a good move. Like, why is you even trying to get with any girl and you ain't got no motion, right? But it's like, why would you be out in public looking like that? But he was doing like something, I guess, to like catch girls. And bro, I got caught up. I'm so freaking embarrassed, yo. But it gets worse. I'm about to show y'all the car.
That's crazy. Oh, look at her in the rain. Look at her in the rain. Look at her.
Look, bro, I was running in the rain. I'm so embarrassed. What the hell? I went out bad, bro.
You said what?
Bro, this is his car. Look at that. What kind of car is that? Is this like an exclusive edition car or something? I don't know. Like, I don't know about cars, but I know I would look good in it. I should have just, I should have just been nice.
To the men in their 20s and 30s, coming from a woman in her 40s, I literally have one question for you. What is wrong with you? Seriously, I need you to tell me, like, what's wrong? I am surrounded on a day-to-day by women in their 20s. Surrounded. They are smart. They are well-spoken. They are beautiful. They are kind. They are funny. They are polite. They're respectful. I mentor a lot of them. And the behavior of the men in their 20s and 30s that are trying to date these incredible women, it's mind-boggling to me. What are you guys doing? I don't even understand. They are asking you guys for literally the bare minimum. Communication, respect, to plan things every once in a while, to be direct with your feelings and your emotions, to not ghost them when you don't want to date them anymore, to just man up and be a grown-up. And when I tell you the behavior is atrocious, and again, it's mind-boggling to me. And quite frankly, they're not expecting much. They're just expecting you to be a grown-up person. So although this channel is usually for the women in their 20s from a woman in her 40s, I've just seen so much terrible behavior lately, and honestly, over a long period of time, that I just feel like I needed to speak to it. And for the women in your 20s, in your 30s, and your 40s, it is literally the bare minimum to expect someone to be able to communicate with you, to be able to plan things with you, to be able to advance plan things with you, to be able to pick up the phone and give you a call, to not drop off of the face of the earth when they don't want to date you anymore. That is literally the bare minimum. So to the men in their 20s and 30s, they need you to shape up.
It's actually not every once in a while. It's actually pretty frequently that they want that to happen. And men in their 20s aren't really making a lot of money. That's what it is. And you're talking about they're gorgeous and they're this and they're that. In today's society, once again, and I'll talk about it in a minute, in today's society, these young ladies want a lot. Oh, it's just direct communication. They don't want direct communication. They don't. Because if a man starts communicating directly with you, as he does with his boys, it's too harsh, it's too blunt, it's too straightforward. There's no nuance. It's either this or that. If you're talking to a man and he's talking to you like he's talking to his boys, you'll get a clear understanding of what he is actually looking for and what he actually means. But you guys don't actually want that. Second thing is you guys want presentation. You're all about presentation. I'm seeing you looking at your glasses. I see your necklace. I see a couple of necklaces. I see how you present yourself. You're talking about these are beautiful, gorgeous women. But what are they actually like other than what they present to you when they come up there? What are they actually like at home? You're not going to see them. You might see them here and there for a Zoom call. They know how to keep up appearances. There was a guy in one of the compilations that I made where he was talking about essentially when women go on girls trips, it takes out a lot of the hiding that they do in friends groups. We only see each other here and there, but on a trip, then the person who is not paying, who's not trying to pay their way, the person who is late to everything, the person who doesn't do certain things, that starts to show up because a lot of women are able to keep up appearances. That's what they want to do. I want to go here. I want to be a part of that. I want to do this and that. While a man isn't necessarily concerned with that, right? Obviously, in some things he is, but he's not necessarily going to be concerned with necessarily keeping up with the Joneses. He can't, or else he's not going to get to his vision. He's going to get distracted. He's got to focus on what he's supposed to be doing. So you guys continue to tell us how great these women are, but the man has to take this woman on a date. The man has to listen to her cry and nag and moan about, oh, I don't like this restaurant, but this is supposed to be a really nice, highly rated restaurant. I really don't like it. We spent all this money, so that's money down the drain that I have to go back and work for. You don't go home with this woman. You're not sitting at home watching TV with this woman, listening to her talk. So you don't actually know the woman. You know the idea and the concept, the professional side of the woman. Men get to know these women intimately. And I'm not talking about in the bedroom. I'm talking about face-to-face conversations where we're just looking for a man that's emotionally vulnerable, that's emotionally intelligent, a man that communicates. Meanwhile, they're doing all of these things, popping off at the mouth, disrespecting men to their face. And you'll continue to get up here and say, these women are great, they're fantastic, they're gorgeous, and sing their praises, and then act like there are no men anywhere that can meet this standard. I'm telling you guys, y'all are going to keep on falling into the same hole because y'all are delusional. Y'all don't sit back and think about, why is there a disconnect? Why is this happening? How come I cannot attract the men that I want?